We're the RAGAMUFFINs, and we went to 2000 Trees Festival.
Oh, yeah.
So, Dan has been hyping up this festival for about 2 years, because I think we book tickets for 2020?
I mean, even longer than that. I went back in 2016, and then it was my first full weekend festival, actually. So to do that and then sort of go off and do the bigger ones, like Download a couple of times, Reading and Leeds, it was nice to go back to it. And after doing the big ones, I think I've always hyped up how 2000 Trees was the best one.
Yeah, and I think we were very excited going into it, James. And, I mean, pretty much almost instantly, after we set up camp on the first day, we were, like, just understood, like, why.
It was that, though. It was as soon as... Because Dan, you built it up to something so big, and I think there was that expectation there that hopefully it lives up to all of that. That as soon as we kind of, like, packed up the tent and everything... Not packed up the tent, put up the tent and everything. It was like, okay, let's go explore. And it was... You can see from the vlog our instant reaction as soon as we got to the forest stage of just kind of... taking in the atmosphere, taking in how it was, and knowing that you're going to see live music there. And I mean, the silent disco we had there that night, everything just in that kind of vibe, the atmosphere was straight away like, oh wow, this is something truly different.
That's what I was going to say. It's one of my favourite parts of the vlog is how I've got the camera on both of you, and you're just like literally going, wow, look at this.
It's
this,
just genuine,
this is incredible.
Genuine, just real reaction to that instantly, which... I mean, yeah, you can't fake that, because that takes a lot to kind of walk into something new that you've gone into. You've heard good things, you've got high expectations, and then still to go into it and be blown away in just the appearance and the aesthetic of it. That's something quite special.
It was just also like the audience there were really friendly. Like within not very long of being there, we had very positive interactions with people camped around us, people being like courteous and respectful of space, which like you don't always get at a festival.
No, absolutely not.
And just you could tell that like everyone was there for a positive experience. Whereas
Posy vibes.
Little things like just walking around and seeing the almost like makeshift little tents and stages they had set up for around the camp for like open mic nights, acoustic sets, whatever. It was just like an anticipation when we first arrived that I can't quite put into words. It was just like knowing it's going to be a really special weekend. So
out of everything we went to this summer, it felt like the most music-centric festival we've been to with that kind of thing. Having, like, you could hear different music everywhere from just speakers around camp. The bands, obviously, you're going to go to music festival and that, but like you say, with coming out from the silent disco and then immediately, like at 2 o'clock in the morning, seeing Hagagat playing a set in one of those small tents. Are you going to see that at any other festival? Are you going to see like the open mic at any other festival? I can't see that ever happening at Download.
I found that quite funny because usually silent disco at a festival is used to kind of avoid like the noise curfew. But obviously that was like 1:30, 1:45 in the morning. We were just leaving the silent disco, and then I was Haggard Cat just setting up in the campsite. So clearly that's not the reason they have silent disco. Yeah. They have it because it's fun.
Oh, it was a great time. I think I had like preconception as well beforehand of what a silent disco would end up being like. But I think over all the nights that we went out and had there, it was just so much fun. We had other groups of people that came with us, and like we met up with some of the Nala boys. You can check out Jacob's Perfect Gig.
Plug
as well.
So
little plug.
We're so good at this now.
And then Josh came and met up with us as well, and you had people with the headphones on. They'd have different colours on, and then you'd see someone just kind of vibe to a certain colour, and then you're like, okay, let me switch it, let me find it, and then you kind of match it based on like them headbanging or something, and it's like, oh, okay, great. And it was just a very different experience than what I thought it would be.
Yeah, I liked having like the separate channels on the silent disco, because then there's no moments that you get on a normal club night of, I don't really like this song, and then it's like you either think about going back to your tent or heading off to the bar or whatever, but instead you can just switch to another channel and there'll be something you like. Also, there was a great moment where I think me and James were listening to Slipknot and you were listening to Taylor Swift, but we were all just dancing and singing together.
That's why it's so much fun. I loved it so much. Should we take this day by day?
Yeah, shall we rewind a second and go back to Wednesday? And after your initial reaction to seeing the forest first of all, we then saw our first band on it, Palm Reader, which I think were one of the bands of the weekend, to be fair.
Yeah. You know, I think a theme that came up quite a lot over the weekend was, this is a 2000 Trees band. Like, it feels like this band belongs here, and we belong here with the band, if that makes sense. It's like, this is the perfect place. And Palm Reader was like, I couldn't think of a more perfect introduction for the whole weekend in terms of our first set, because there was just this like mutual love and adoration for, like, you know, an early entry day in a tiny little forest to be as energetic and lively as it was. I think it's just really special. So
I need to say as well, the new forest stage is amazing. It used to be a lot smaller than that. It was just like an acoustic thing. But as far as I understand, the organisers of the festival designed and built that themselves, which is just a great thing to do, I guess.
Well, that's another thing that will come up quite a lot, is like the DIY, you know, the people running it are putting in the work, and like you can tell.
And they have the attention to detail for it as well.
That level of closeness to the end product makes all the difference, because they have to care. You know?
Well, it just makes it feel a bit more genuine, doesn't it? Like,
yeah,
some other festivals you go to, and obviously it's a business. And that goes for all festivals, all kind of music environments like that. But 2000 Trees, it feels like it's run by music fans, for music fans.
Yes. I think then we caught a bit of Black Foxes, and then it was getting on the sesh for a little bit. It was just drinking.
One of the great things about the size of the site at 2000 Trees is you can hear the band you want to see starting, and you can just think, oh, we'll go down now, and you'll be there within a minute, 2 minutes.
It was amazing how close like the campsite was, and how accessible it all was to get from one place to another. And it was just that instant reaction, like you say. It's like, yeah, let's go over there. Let's do that. And you're there in minutes. Like, there's no huge walk you have between download, camp, and the village, and then get into the arena. It's literally minutes away. You have time in between going and seeing sets at main stage to go back, get drinks, and then head back to the main stage right at the front. Like, it's easy to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And like, we kind of had a pretty packed schedule anyway, so it was difficult for us to do this. But you could just hear a band that you didn't know before that you quite like the sound of, and think, hey, that's all right, I'm going to go and check that out.
Yeah.
Which is where Trees does very well at promoting kind of underground and up-and-coming artists along with kind of your big names. Like we talked about how it seems like they've strategically got the new stage on the way to the main stage. So you can be on the way to the main stage to see someone like Jimmy Eat World, and you might hear a smaller band that you didn't know before on the way and think, hey, that's pretty good, I'll watch that first.
And making sure there was no clash between the two, so that as soon as a main band had finished on the big stage, even if you wanted to walk through and go and see a band at the cave, you'd have to go via the new stage, and you have to go and see that. And it was almost like you say, it's funneling that direct route in order to get these people to be introduced to these new bands. And it's a great way of doing that, making sure there's no clash in between them.
Yeah.
And again,
if it is deliberate, then well done, 2000 Trees. That's very clever.
If it's not, then blag that it is.
yeah. But yeah, it worked perfectly, because there are a couple of times where we'd be at a stage. Particularly, I felt it when I saw Graphic Nature play the new stage, and you could literally see people walking from the direction of main stage straight into the tent. And it was that moment of like, oh, this band sound good, I'm going to go and watch it now. And I think that was just like, you can't put a price on that, really.
No.
Like, so yeah, well done, 2000 Trees.
Anyway, we were meant to be going day by day, weren't we?
Yeah, we're all over the place today.
We saw Pulled Apart by Horses headline the Wednesday night in the forest.
Very good.
Again, they were really good.
And another 2000 Trees band that just feel like
they felt like they were very self-aware. They played a lot of songs off their early self-titled album, mixed in a few new ones as well. Loads of energy. Another Trees band, like you mentioned, it feels like.
And you could see, like, with that, saying it as it's a Trees band, and all these ones that you're kind of highlighting with that, you can tell because you see that merch there as well. They know the audience, they know who they're marketing towards in the right kind of way for that. And it's not like you go to your Download Festival, you're going to see your majority of the Slipknots, you're going to see all the merch from the big metal bands that you're usually used to. And I think that was part of Trees, and what we're kind of getting across is that the community that they kind of have built with it, which even when, like, we'll go day by day more, but there was a day when me and Dan went off to the podcast stage, and we saw Sappenin speaking to James, the main booker for it, and even he was talking about it being like they're aware of what they're doing. They know that they've kind of created a community, and they didn't set out to do that, but they did it very, very well. And I think having that awareness for what they're doing shows through in why this was so good.
Absolutely. Let's take the Thursday then. Talk about who we saw, what we enjoyed. I believe we started with Nala.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Our very good friends, and they are just bloody great. You know, they just sounded huge for a 3-piece. The riffs and the tone, the way they just filled that tent was really, really impressive.
Yeah, they drew a really good crowd, which was really nice to see.
Got anything to add, James?
No, I completely agree. They were a great start to kind of kick off the full bit of the festival, going into the main 3 days of it, just coming off the back of releasing their latest single, which I think translated very, very well live as well. Yeah, that's very, very enjoyable, and it was a really good way to kind of get an introduction to the first band you're seeing underneath one of the main tents.
I think it was Delaire the Liar after them.
Yeah.
That was your first introduction to them. Have you? I don't think you'd even listened to them before, had you?
Not listened to them. I saw, a couple of clips from our Underground Fest vlog, because I didn't go to that. And
Ooh, was that another plug?
Watch it now.
Not now.
Not
after
this.
this.
No, after this, yeah. But I thought they were great. It's, again, just like the thing that's so great about a festival of this size is you can, like you said earlier, just see a band that you've never heard of or never listened to properly before, and just it's so close that you there's almost no reason not to go to the set. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were great, massively won over by them. I just think they're really, really exciting band.
My main takeaway from their set was, and I've always said this, I enjoy a set so much more when you can see that the band are enjoying themselves as well. They clearly loved that set as much as a lot of their fans did in the crowd.
And it was really nice to see having smaller bands like them have promotional material around near the main stage as well.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that, kind of like these smaller bands have massive posters. You've kind of got these big bands like Turnstile, you've got Jimmy Eat World, you've got Thrice playing on main stage. You got these bands
we're chuckling because
we may or may not be sat next to a giant Turnstile poster.
I'll insert a picture for the YouTube viewers now.
But yeah, you kind of got all these big bands that are headliners that are there to draw the crowd, and then you've got these smaller bands that maybe a lot of people haven't heard of, and having that kind of promotion around that kind of main stage is very key, and that's a very, very important part of it as well, I think.
We saw a little bit of Tiger Cub, or at least myself and James saw a little bit of Tiger Cub. Did you stay for the whole thing, Alex? You don't look like you remember Tiger Cub.
I don't recall. Maybe not then. I don't think so.
I remember there was a guy dressed as Tigger there, which was very nice to see.
Yeah, I was there. I remember that.
He made many appearances.
Well, I mean, the Tigger guy was everywhere, to be fair, but I thought it was quite funny that he was a tiger watching Tiger Cub.
Great banter.
I don't remember that set.
Anyway, James and I left that early to go and see Holding Absence for the 1000th time. And in my opinion, the best time.
They are just incredible. I don't have a lot else to say. They have a way, I think, of instantly appealing to new audiences pretty quickly. They sound phenomenal live. You weren't even going to see them, Alex, and I think you were walking past the tent and you heard some of their set, and you all of a sudden, I think it was during Afterlife, I looked to my right and you were there. And I thought that was quite cool.
Yeah, at the time I went to see Graphic Nature on the new stage, who just amazing. I love it when a band comes out and they're all in windbreakers in 30-degree heat.
And then the pit opens up.
But they were really, really good. Just a really exciting band. I like how a lot of bands nowadays are sort of proudly claiming new metal influences again. And they're one of those bands that just sound really fucking sick.
It's nothing to be embarrassed about anymore.
Never was. Well, actually, probably was for a while. But yeah, no, I caught the end of Holding Absence's set. Try saying that 5 times fast. And I walked past and thought, should I push my way in? And then they played Beyond Belief, and I was like, I'm going to push my way in. And I fought my way through the crowd, but it was worth it, because all I saw was that, Afterlife, and Wilt. And
bangers.
Even from that, I can understand why you would say that's their best set that
Yeah.
we've seen them for, because it was just
I
perfect.
I really can't say why it was their best set, but it was out of the many times I've seen them, that was the most enjoyable one.
I think the biggest takeaway with them,
Maybe it's because it's trees.
Maybe one of the biggest takeaways.
They're a trees band.
They are a trees band. Lucas even said on stage they played everything there, every stage apart from main stage.
Main stage next year.
Look out for that. But I think one of the biggest appeals for Holding Absence in particular is the live experience. I think anyone that's seen them live after maybe like we've introduced them or like from other people I know of, once you've seen them live, it's just like, I get it. I understand it even more.
You know you gotta see it live to get it.
Exactly. And I think...
More of that later.
I think it's just having that experience there and just seeing it. And I know we've seen them a lot and we've banged on again about them for the last year almost, I think it's been.
We're bloody obsessed.
It's with good reason for that. And I think if you go back and look at our Trees vlog and see their parts in particular as well, you will understand why.
We then saw like one Bleak Soul song, I think, in the forest. Chilled out in the shade for a bit before going to see one of Alex's favourite bands of the weekend, Can't Swim.
Loved it. They were so good. I forget. I say I forget. I know that they do. They've got so many bangers, and I can't get my words out. I think
you're buffering, mate.
Yeah. We kept over the weekend singing to James the Turnstile lyric. You really gotta see it live to get it, because it's true. Like so many of these bands were just elevated beyond what you hear on record this weekend. Can't Swim was one of them. I think they sound amazing all the time, like listening to their albums, but this was like exceptional. I think I was very happy. Did any of us see Creeper or Dinosaur Pileup?
We saw Dinosaur.
We saw a little bit of Dinosaur Pileup. There was literally a pileup of dinosaurs in the crowd.
Excellent.
There must have been about 5 or 6 inflatable dinosaur.
It was quite funny because like I remember like earlier on in their set there was like maybe 3. And then every now and again you'd see someone with a dinosaur just kind of come past, and then eventually you just saw like a massive like a pit of just people in dinosaur costumes. So it's like, you know what, I can appreciate this. This is tremendous. And to be fair, they were quite good live. For a band that I hadn't heard a lot about, but then seen the name around quite a fair bit. They did put on a good show for that.
I saw Lonely the Brave that day as well. They were really, really good. They've had a new vocalist since the last time I saw them, and a new album out since the last time I saw them, and they're awesome. One of the guitarists after, I think it was after they played The Blue and the Green, said, "We've played that song a million times, and you've just made me cry," or something along those lines. Which again, it's so nice to see the bands just enjoying themselves as much as the crowd are, and an awful lot of bands that weekend saying how much they loved that festival and how much Trees means to them, as much as it means to a lot of people as well.
And then we finally got to catch up on what we missed from Outbreak, and that's Stick to Your Guns, and it was worth the wait.
They were very, very good.
It was just an energetic set. I was surprised about how much I actually knew of them. I had been starting to like listen to them more and more, but as they're playing songs, I think of just hearing you play it in the background previously, Ali. It was just such an enjoyable performance to watch, and I think that was another one where I saw it live and got it. It's really kind of got me into them more. I'm looking forward about this new album is out now at time of recording. Haven't had a proper chance to sit and listen to it yet, but it is one that I guarantee I'm finding time to sit down and just listen to it and digest it, because that experience of seeing them live just completely did something where it's just like, I need to get into Spam more. I had the energy there from seeing it with the crowd that knew them, and now I want to meet that energy. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that, and they put on an incredible set.
I like Stick to Your Guns. I've always liked Stick to Your Guns. I didn't know I liked them that much. Like, something about the energy from that set just dragged me in. I wasn't just finger pointing and shouting the lyrics. I was in the pit, in the circle pit, all around. Bouncing off Tigger.
It takes a real special band where one of their members is in a neck brace, and it's still one of the most energetic, pit-inducing sets of the weekend. So
that's the thing. Even though the songs are very angry and politically driven and quite relevant at the moment, it was a fun set. It wasn't angry. It was like cathartic and just fun.
Felt really good, and it just married so well with the fact that Trees felt like one giant community for the whole weekend. And, you know, the way that Jesse was speaking on stage and the way that their lyrics are, it just felt like everyone was there really coming together for a moment. So
yeah, Jesse ended the set by saying something along the lines of look after each other because that's all we've got, which again, going with like the Trees kind of mantra, felt right.
Yeah. And then we managed to catch the very end of Jimmy Eat World's headline set.
Yeah, the last couple of bangers.
And a nice time was had.
We had an even nicer time at the silent disco that night.
We did.
Because I was very hungover the next day.
And yeah, this is where the real beauty of the silent disco is, like we said earlier, the multiple channels, and just the ability to all be on completely different vibes and yet still having
The best
so
time.
much fun. So I think every festival should have a silent disco.
With multiple channels.
Yeah. And maybe let us DJ one of them.
Speak into existence.
Oh, no, don't offer us that.
We'd have to learn how to DJ first.
Easy
And
one.
just make a playlist and
Make a
press
playlist,
play.
Yeah, easy. On to the Friday. We started early with a bit of Harriet.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen them at Download. It was very much one I think that all of us had just marked out as we need to go and see them again because of how good they were live. And it just lived up to it. It felt like there was a bigger crowd there for Trees than there was at Download as well. At least from the instant, from the get-go, it's very much appealed to that kind of market more. And yeah, they were very much welcomed on there.
This was like my nap day.
Yeah, we had a bit of I think James stayed at the tent for a bit. You and I had seeked out some shelter in the forest.
Yeah, it was very hot.
Which I'm very glad we did because we needed a bit of a rest for the not-so-secret set, which was heck.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. What the heck?
This is the Trees band, I think.
Yeah.
I know we've said it a few times. That was the 2000 Trees band. But this is the one.
It makes sense.
It was just perfect chaos, wasn't it? Just the entire set was like...
choreographed chaos.
Yeah. You know... I got no words.
It's hard to describe it, really. You just need to go and watch our vlog and see what it was like.
I think I sum it up well in the vlog saying that, like, I've seen many bands now. I've never really seen something that was quite like that. It was very much more than just listening to music, more than just a show, more than just going to see a band at a festival. It was really an experience of something. And bear in mind, they hadn't played a show in, 5+ years?
Something like that, yeah.
You could see how excited people were. As soon as the banner went up on the stage, you could feel the energy just radiating from people. And as soon as they played, their set felt like it could just keep going, and no one would have got tired of it.
You know when you see like a 4D film for the first time,
This
and
is
you're
it.
like,
Yeah.
you've got the visuals, you've got like water splashing in the face. You're like, oh, the seat's moving now as well. It's a bit like that, I think, because you start off by just watching the band, and then you're like, bloody hell, he's in the crowd. It's like, oh, he's on the crowd. Oh, he's up there now.
You have no choice but to be involved.
Oh, now the guitarist is out here. Oh, Wall of Death. All right.
Oh, the drum kit's been taken off the stage and put in the crowd. Oh,
yeah,
okay. All right,
yeah,
then.
fair enough. All right.
Just amazing.
Carnage, chaos, and phenomenal.
Just go and watch our vlog to get the full experience.
It's a shame that I imagine they're a band that probably has trouble getting booked in venues.
This. I think I was saying to Josh at one point, like, speculating as to whether the reason they broke up was because they didn't get booked anymore.
Yeah.
Because there was some damage caused around the tent.
Yeah, definitely. But worth it. Absolutely worth it. Yeah, would it have been Kenny after that?
It was Kenny after that.
I think this was
another set that was just
this was
brilliant.
one of my standouts from the whole weekend as well. This set for me was better than when we saw him at Slam Dunk.
That says a lot as well.
And I thought he was one of the highlights of Slam Dunk by far. The energy just seemed even higher. It seemed like he was having such a great time. Again, him coming into the crowd and everything like that. You could see the crowd reception with it, with everyone singing Estella with him a cappella before they kind of went into the full song. There was so much back and forth between him and the crowd that I think you didn't necessarily get at Slam Dunk. It just felt like the right place for him being at Trees.
He's a Trees artist.
He's a Trees artist. And it's been off the back of this that I legit have not stopped listening to Survivor's Guilty P. It's been on replay on my Spotify constantly, and it's purely because of how good and how much I enjoyed the set that he put on at Trees.
I have to say I was a little worried the first song in because it took a while for the crowd to fill up a bit. But once it did, once everyone was there, it was a party.
Again, this is like you said, Dan. When you see the artist having fun, because his Slam Dunk set was one of the best sets of the weekend, but at Trees he seemed like he was having just so much
also,
fun.
His on-stage persona is a bit of like a straight face, serious kind of thing. But even Kenny couldn't help but smile every now and then.
Yeah, you could see he was
having a great time, and that was reflected then with everyone there in the crowd. It was just great fun, and a highlight, I think. And I think after him, did we pretty much stay around for Boston Manor?
We waited around at the main stage for Boston Manor. I was a little disappointed by the set list. Like, it was mainly new stuff, which I understand. They're pushing the new album. They're trying to get the hype off of that. So I would have liked to have heard some older stuff. But at the same time, I really enjoyed the set.
It definitely made up for it for me because I didn't get the chance to see them at Downer Festival. Because I think I was going for Korn at that point, which I could not pass up. But that was the main one of Download that I hated in terms of a clash. And the only reason I went for that was because I knew I was going to see them here at a bigger stage with a longer set. And I really, really enjoyed it. I think they like you say, they could have catered the set a little bit better. But overall, for like the first proper experience of me then seeing them after getting into the EP last year.
Yeah. I mean, I've got no issue with it, really. It's a festival. It's to be expected. And there's still good songs.
Yeah, and you could, again, the crowd participation that they were able to get, I think was great. And again, the rapport they're building off everyone there watching them. There was just so much back and forth between artist on stage and crowd throughout the whole weekend that it just kind of enforces everything about what Trees is about.
Something else that Trees is all about. There was an old guy on someone's shoulders for quite a while, and then he got crowd surfed as well. He was having a great time. Everyone around him was having a great time.
Good vibes.
It's just great.
Yeah, so it's just nice to see things like that, isn't it? People having those experiences.
Community.
That'll be me when I'm like 80.
And then the festivities at main stage continued for Turnstile. Loved it. I think, for me personally, their set at Outbreak was one of the best live music experiences I'm probably ever going to have.
Yeah, and I think it's a difficult one because Outbreak is their scene, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think it was ever going to be better than that Outbreak set, or even like close to being on par to it.
And I think
but it was still great.
Yeah, it was still great. If there'd been like a year between the Outbreak set and this Tree set, I think I wouldn't have been so quick to compare them in my head. But because this was like 2 weeks after Outbreak, and I was still on the high of like Turnstile, that was the best set I've ever seen ever. So this was still really, really great.
I haven't got much more to add to that. Like you say, that their set at Outbreak was something really, really fucking incredible. And knowing that, like, obviously with the Outbreak system of where there was the front area and the back area, even the back area for them at Outbreak had pits. And again, that is their crowd. That is where they're going to appeal most. And I think they did a fantastic job here at Trees, but like you say, it's hard not to have that comparison. So they still stand out with someone great there, but it wasn't quite the same. I mean, but still great.
We've been talking about a festival that I've been hyping up for years, and now we're going to talk about a band that I've been hyping up for a long time as well. You guys got your first Pup live experience.
I fucking loved it so much. It was amazing. I mean, Can't Swim for me were one of the best of the weekend, but if it wasn't them, it would be this Pup set as the one, because it was just like an adrenaline rush for me. Because I don't often crowd surf, like, you know, I'm in the pit a lot, but I rarely...
I'm partial to a crowd surf.
I'm partial. But this was one of the... And I didn't crowd surf or stage dive at Outbreak. I didn't get that.
Which should have been the place for it,
didn't get that feeling come over me. But when we Pup were playing, I was like, fuck it, I'm doing it. And I went up during Sleep in the Heat, like right as the song's like building to like its big emotional like lip.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I was just like, this is bloody amazing. I'm having so much fun. So, loved it.
It was just energy from front to back, I felt like.
I think I was getting food as well during this point, and then was trying to make my way back in, and you could see they fucking drew a crowd. that tent was absolutely packed. Like I managed to get to a good spot for it. I think I saw you crowd surfing during it as well. But yeah, you could see the energy was fantastic. They translated live absolutely incredibly.
You know that meme of Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the TV?
That's it. That's me. That's seen Alex crowd surf. A rare sight there. Yeah. But no, they had a fantastic job there. They killed it.
If Dan from Trash Boat's listening, I hope you had a good time. I saw him in the pit.
Yeah, I saw him in the
pit. He looked like he was having
a
good time. We saw Thrice after that. I really enjoyed that. I've really gotten into Thrice now. Like I was already starting to get into them, and now after seeing them live again, they're just a great band. Your favourite band's favourite band?
Yeah, pretty much. It was just nice. Nice to sort of get, I was a bit had my energy drained from Pup and Turnstile, so it was nice to just sort of chill at the back and hear some lovely tunes. So, yeah, nice.
I echo that entirely. It was just a nice way to end the evening. Again, drew a fantastic crowd there as well, which I was very impressed by, and just put on a great show.
Yeah.
Then we went to Silent Disco again.
Had a wonderful time. Great vibes. Great tunes.
So good.
DPD were very good. Bridie was smashed.
Yeah, very good. Oh, and we got recognised for the first time that night. Well, not for someone recognised as download, sorry.
Not the first time. We get recognised all the time,
We get recognised.
Shout out Ross.
Scottish Ross.
You were lovely.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming and saying hello.
Very, very kind. And hopefully we weren't too drunk and we were coherent.
It probably sobered me up a bit, actually.
Did it?
Saturday.
The final day.
We went to see the Amazons doing an acoustic set.
How was it?
It was very nice. I've not listened to the Amazons before, but again, just being in that kind of forest environment, having a chilled out acoustic band on the stage, sipping a cider, it's just good vibes.
I think while you were there, we'd gone off to go and see Angel Dust.
We had indeed.
I think after seeing them at Outbreak, we thought, yeah, let's go again. They put on a good show. They put on a good performance. And again, just another solid set. Very enjoyable. And again, kind of seeing a lot of these bands now, like at repeat festivals, it kind of starts to get you to know them a little bit more and kind of recognise the names, which is really, really helpful and really useful as well. So I think after seeing that Outbreak, instantly was like, yeah, let's go do that again. Good times.
Very nice. I also checked out the band John.
Oh yeah, I saw John. They were good.
They were really good.
I thought they were quite funny as well.
Drummer's called John, guitarist is called John.
Together they're called?
John. Just very nice sort of post-punk style.
Yeah.
Loved it.
And then, we've talked about the mosh pit dust, but never have I inhaled more mosh pit dust than seeing Knocked Loose on the main stage at 2000 Trees.
That was fucking ridiculous.
Sort of basically worse than being like a Victorian chimney sweep, innit?
I'd say so. Like I was in that pit pretty
Yeah.
much constantly for the whole part, and I struggled to breathe afterwards. Although
it was bloody hot as well.
It was. But
we're not complaining.
We're not complaining. We're not. It was a fantastic show, and Outbreak for me was the selling point, and the main takeaway from that was how much of a fan I've become of this band, and they were someone who I've been listening to pretty much constantly as well recently, and so was looking forward to the set. This was like my standout for Saturday, and it did not disappoint in the slightest. Absolutely loved it, and I am 1,000,000% converted into a Not Loose fan now. I am there. I am completely there.
Fucking finally. It took you long enough.
You've said it for a while, Alex, that you were waiting for it to happen, and we have reached that moment.
Now we can all rejoice. Yeah.
I had a nice little break after Knocked Loose. I went back to the shade of the forest and watched Twin Atlantic do a lovely little acoustic ditty.
What a word. Wow.
They made up the set list as they went along. You're right, James.
Ditty's excellent.
Keep going.
I'm a journalist.
Yeah.
I'm loving these vocabulary.
Yeah, they made up the set list as they went along, which was interesting. But yeah, a nice mix of old and new songs, acoustically.
I think that's nice though, because sorry, I was still chuckling at Ditty. I think it's nice though because I guess as a fan, when they're just making it up as they go, you know that you're getting just a completely unique one-off experience, which is sort of the come on, get it together. Sort of the whole point of the forest stage, I guess, is like giving opportunities like that for fans.
But then also doing that off the cuff, they're going to be having a good time because they're going to play the songs they want to play. They're going to have fun with it. They're not controlled necessarily by, we've got to promote this album or this song or anything. They're just going to play songs and have a good time. Yeah. And I think, again, it's that vibe of like between artists, between fans there, of everyone kind of just in unison with that.
There's another endorsement from an artist to the festival as well, because their vocalist Sam said that his wife had a baby a week before. Presumably it was his. I thought at the time, like, he was like, "Oh, my wife had a baby a week ago," and everyone cheered, and we're just like assuming that it's his baby.
He is the father.
Yep, she's left me for another man. Please don't cheer.
But yeah, his wife had a baby a week previously, and he was like, "If this was any other festival, I would have cancelled because I should be at home with my wife and our child." But no, he was there doing an acoustic set, which again is testament to how many artists of this festival as well.
I just got a vision of him being like, "All right, see you later, love. I'm just off to go and play in the woods for a bit."
You need to change the nappy.
I think after that we saw Yumi at 6.
Oh yeah, we did.
Not together though, because I couldn't find anyone.
You'd definitely gone back for a nap at that
You were
point.
having a nap.
I was, yeah. I think James...
Which I don't blame you for, to be honest.
James woke me up and went, "Oh, we're just going to walk down to see Yumi at 6 now. They start in about 5-10 minutes." And I went, "Yeah, I don't And then...
Even less coherent.
And then they started playing Underdog, and I was like the Undertaker. I just sat up and I was like, "Oh, guess I'm up then." But they sounded very good, I think.
They were very good. I'm
good.
not a huge fan of theirs nowadays, but again, it was a nice mix of songs, old and new.
It's one of those bands they're at the festival there. They're at a big spot. You're going to kind of go and see it. And
yeah, they're a fun band.
It was just a good show at that point, and you could see had great crowd participation with that. They had a good rapport with people, which made it even better because sometimes you'll see like big festival sets and it won't land properly, and this very much catered to the audience perfectly, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I'd got my hopes up for a Sinners Never Sleep anniversary set, but
alas, it was not to be.
Shame. And they should have brought out Brian Garris to do Ollie's part.
Literally anyone.
They
should have brought out anyone that can do screaming vocals,
or not have the backing track play.
Yeah, I thought that was
maybe
odd.
Don't do that next time.
Because Josh is a great screaming vocalist as well.
Yeah, he could have done it. I'm pretty sure he did it just fine when they supported.
Yeah,
Bring
I think he did.
Well.
Oh well.
Ours is not to
It's
question.
a missed opportunity. Who are we, eh?
Yeah, who are we?
The RAGAMUFFIN.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Roll credits.
All right, and lastly...
Oh, no.
No, come on.
We saw Prestamiko first.
Oh, shit, yes, we did.
How could you forget?
How could I forget? They
Awesome
were
set.
brilliant. It sounded sarcastic when I just said that. They were very, very good. From when we heard their album, I've known that, like, it's going to hit live when I hear it live. And it really did. I thought they were just really, really good.
Yeah, I agree. Huge pits throughout the whole thing. They had a guy with a cowbell, which was quite funny.
Yeah.
It was like he kept respawning like an NPC. He would just appear in the pit with his cowbell, would get lifted up and crowd surf to the front, and then you'd look away and then look back, and there he is in the middle of the pit with his cowbell, and then he'll get picked up and
I'm
crowd
assuming
surf to the front.
he was like...
And then he'll just appear again in the middle of the pit with his cowbell.
Respawning.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that he knows them and it was like planned.
No idea.
Because at first I thought some twats brought a cowbell. That's what I thought. I thought, oh, excellent, brilliant. He's just going to be playing that all the way through. But it probably was planned. If it wasn't, if I was Prestamiko, I would have leapt off that stage and swatted it.
Flying kick off
What
the
are you
stage.
doing?
I thought it was a nice touch.
It was very nice.
Oh, man.
Then we saw the last headliner, Idols. Now, James, we've tried mightily to try and get you into Idols. I felt that this was almost a last chance saloon.
A make or break.
Are you going to see it live to get it? That was the question. And?
No. Sadly, it's just...
He saw it live.
He
didn't get it.
It just didn't appeal to me. I made a good old college try. I was there for probably about 45 minutes.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
You stuck it out.
You were there for quite a long time.
I thought my natural
it was
instincts,
dark by the time you left.
Yeah, I fought my natural instincts to head back to the tent. But yeah, I made a good effort at it, and I think I turned around to you. I said, look, if it's by this point, if it's by like 10 o'clock or something or 10:15, I'm gonna head off if I'm really not enjoying it. If I stay, then I'll try. But it just didn't work out for me, sadly. So I didn't see it live. I didn't get it.
Well,
you did see it live.
I saw it live. I didn't get it. But then you two seemed to have a great time, and like seeing you come back to the tent afterwards, you both enjoyed it. So
I thought they were good. The new stuff, I could take or leave it. But the big ones in the set were big.
I thought some of the new stuff sounded great. What's the ballroom one?
The Beachland Ballroom.
Beachland Ballroom. That sounded great.
That sounded really good.
There's a couple of the other new ones like the Wheel and stuff that again I'm not that
fussed.
bothered by. But the classics, the usual Idols songs that you expect from a big set were there, and they were very good. I think I would have enjoyed it a bit more if I wasn't so exhausted. Like my feet were ruined.
Yeah.
But that didn't stop me getting in the pit.
Yeah, I didn't really get
and
a
having
choice.
a shout.
Mm. It was very nice.
Yeah, Jacob from Nala sort of dragged us both in, didn't he?
He went, "Are we going in then?" And I went, "No," and he went, "Yeah." So in we went, but they were good. I could have done with the ending of the set not dragging on for 10 minutes.
Time.
But
they did go on for like another half an hour or so, didn't they?
Yeah. My feet were hurting.
Yeah. I was literally
I kind of half-heartedly chanted along to Danny Nedelko at the end. I was kind of ready to go by that point.
If your feet were hurting, prayers up to Josh's flat feet. Then.
Got him. But they were good. It was nice.
There was a nice little dance off in the pit during I'm Scum. In that bit where they drag it on for a little bit at the end.
They got the rowers out in the crowd. Did you see that?
There's a lot of rowing going on this year.
There was rowing, right? There was rowing, and then a guy like swimming on top of people. It was a bit inconsiderate, actually.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of rowing at sets over the summer. Just going away from trees for a second there. I don't know if it's it's something I've seen before. I don't know if it's a bit of a trend at the moment. Everyone just suddenly loves rowing in the pit.
Maybe we should try a different trend next summer. What should we do?
Like skids, knee slides. Just skids in the pit sounds like something completely different.
Just sounds like someone's shat everywhere, but alright.
when the portaloos aren't good enough. I'll just do my skids here then, shall I?
Have you tried skidding? We're the Ragamuffins. We had a lovely time at 2000 Trees. I'm sure we'll be back next year. Thank you for listening. Go and watch the vlog. Bye.